One cold winter morning, we found ourselves on the deserted streets of Dalhousie Square, with our DSLR cameras in our hands and our walking shoes on our feet. A handful of us had responded to a call of joining our chairman and Mr. G. M. Kapoor on a heritage walk of the city, with the promise of a sumptuous breakfast at the end of the walk. We were greeted by an office para that was unknown to us, something that we had overlooked in all these years of our existence in this city. In the absence of the chaos and cacophony of brisk business and busy bureaucracy, the ghost of the Raj slowly came to life.
Actually, this is Kolkata Heritage Walk. This is downtown Kolkata, and this is the place where it all started.
Our colonial past was upon us once again, through the bricks and mortars, through the ornamental iron and wood of its imposing edifices. We could almost hear the horses' hoofs on the cobblestones laid over the soft soil of the Gangetic Delta at the high noon of the British Raj.
Once upon a time, she was going around with a horse carriage in Calcutta. She had a carriage that was pulled by 2 horses. So or 4 horses, some say. But they say that a British official, when he saw her, he got off his horse and took off his hat and started bowing down because he thought it was some British royalty that had arrived. After realizing that it was merely a courtesan, the British imposed a fine that all carriages that are plying through Calcutta must have only 1 horse. If you use more than 1 horse, you'll have to pay a 1,000 rupee fine. And guess what she did? She paid the fine and took out the carriage.
The idea of exploring your own city has become an interesting idea, and people realize that, if we can go and spend so much money on a movie, we might as well go and spend so much money on experiencing Calcutta in a unique way.
This is the High Court of Calcutta, built in 1857. The unique feature, it's probably one of the, not the only Gothic building in Calcutta, the other one is St. Paul's Cathedral, but one of the major Gothic construction. This is known as the Gothic style. You see these arches which are in this fashion. This is a copy of the town hall of Ypres in Belgium.
All our life we have been whizzing past these magnificent edifices without stopping to take a second look. Today we not only wondered at their architectural grandeur, but we also heard the stories hidden under their arches, stories of the making of this city we call our home.
It was in the August of 1690 that Job Charnock, he was an agent of the East India Company. He made his 3rd attempt to come to Calcutta, to set up shop here in a way. This was the town residence of Robert Clive at one time, and this was also supposed to be his pleasure house. This building was the town residence of Warren Hastings, Governor General of Fort William in Bengal, 1774, yeah.
Across the street from us is a bunch of goats going to deliver fresh goat milk to your door. This guy comes and delivers goat milk. Do you know why Calcutta's biryani has aloo? When the Nawab of Lucknow was deposed to come to Calcutta, in the cook segment of the Nawabs, there is the Rakabdar and there's the Khansama. Khansama would cook for everyone, but the guy who would cook for the Nawab, his wife and his favorite child or whatever, would be called Rakabdar. So if you go to the Royal India Hotel on Chitpur, that was the Rakabdars of Wajid Ali Shah. And that's why they will never put potato in their biryani. That's sacrilege for them. Rest of Calcutta will put because they were all Khansamas. They were all the lower level cooks. So they will put potato and they will put all that because the Nawab obviously could not afford meat for the entire, all the courtiers.
I would say that it's difficult to get bad food in Calcutta. It's difficult to show, to give somebody a bad experience, a travel experience in Calcutta. So I feel it's easy to show Calcutta well. It's difficult to show it badly. Calcutta means so many different things for so many different people.
It was 1986. I just returned from finishing my architecture school, and then I was traveling and walking around North Calcutta. I realized that such a beautiful area this area is. So when I was moving around, I came to this house, the house of famous Chatu Babu, Latu Babus. I met one of the brothers called Kollan Deb. I was trying to explain to him that Kolanda, you have a beautiful area, beautiful house, beautiful building, but he said, I don't see it. But I said that it is actually very nice. Why don't you appreciate and let's do something about it.
I didn't have any idea as to what significant things are here. That I didn't know. That somebody from outside had to find out, and he found out. And practically he took us around for a walk, and he pointed out to us, you see, this is significant, have you seen this, this is something different, and it was an eye opener for us also.
So that whole idea of heritage walk emerged from that discussion, and I initiated a heritage walk starting from this house of Chatu Babu, Latu Babu, North Calcutta in Middle Street, and it used to end at Shobha Bajar Rajbari at North Calcutta. So the whole heritage walk is to start from this particular otla or rock, we call it in Calcutta, and then we used to go to the old courtyard of Chatu Babu, Latu Babus, and then we used to get into the Latu Babu lane, Dorjipara, Blackware Square, and ultimately the walk is to end at Shobha Bajar Rajbari.
Calcutta is such a densely populated city, and its history is so concentrated in those 300 and some years that it's a lot that went through the city. So I said, let's start building on the themes. So we started building on the different themes, and now we have all these different themes and different walks.
This is the first Anglican church which came up in Calcutta. Land was given by the Shobha Bajar Rajbari people, Raja Nabuk Krishna Dev. This was also a burial ground, because churchyards always had burial ground.
This is the old Parsi fire temple. When they first opened a fire temple in Calcutta, this used to be quite a fancy address. You will find Bachi Karkaria writing about it, about how when she was younger, the family used to kind of dress up and come here for their prayers and their gatherings. And you'll see there's a lawn roller there at the back. So there must have been a grassy lawn all around it. There's park benches outside. You'll see cast iron park benches outside.
This is the famous house of Chatu Babu, Latu Babu, and which was originally built by his father Anantnath Dev, and the house in front of the building is originally the theatre today, which is now as a Bidden Street post office. And this road Bidden Street was never there, it was part of their family garden, and this house is a very significant for the history of Calcutta, and our heritage walk is to start from the courtyard of this house and with a slide show. And this was the beginning of a very important movement which later emerged as a Shrutanuri Parishad and North Calcutta movement for revival the heritage of Calcutta.
Forgotten fountain. That could have become like in
yeah,
iconic this thing, but they put it behind those railings, and it's
मैंने आज तक देखा नहीं है.
हाँ तो वही तो बोलना
मैं
है,
बार आ चुका हूँ यहाँ.
forgotten fountain, इसीलिए तो उसका नाम है forgotten fountain. People have forgotten about it. I mean, it's a simple but elegant structure. It can add to the beauty of this city.
There's a story to tell.
Yeah. This would be at least 100 and, if not 120 years old. This is known as a street orderly bin, and you can see it is still intact. Mane, what robust construction. And garbage bin hai basically, you can It's a garbage bin. ये इधर से डालिए उधर से निकालिए. But अभी कोई निकालता नहीं होगा इसमें. But it's still robust.
We must have used it several times without realizing that it is an antique dustbin that has survived the ravages of history.
So the basic principle of designing a heritage walk, that the walk total length should not be more than 2 kilometers, and it should not take more than 2 hours to complete the walk, and the beginning and end of the route is very crucial. The beginning should start with the wow effect. That means the building you start it has to be very unique, and at the end should be also a wow effect, means you have to really appreciate the end of it.
We have this wonderful walk which we call it the confluence of cultures, which starts from Bow Barracks of the Anglo-Indians and ends at the Nakhoda Mosque and the area around it, which is the whole Islamic Bazaar. So in between the two there are about 15 different communities that came and settled in Calcutta from different parts of the world and different parts of the country. So I think that area truly captures the multiculturalness of Calcutta, which is where I belong also.
After walking for nearly 2 hours, we began to feel a little hungry.
Let's carry on and see if we can get some food up ahead. There's a lovely place that does dal puris. I don't know if you've had dal puris.
We are all in this age group where we can be seen as the bridge between the older generation and the younger generation. So when you are in that bridge stage, then I think it's also your responsibility to make the old accessible to the young and the young accessible to the old. So I think that's why people enjoy, youngsters also enjoy coming on our tours, because our language is not old and archaic. So we use contemporary language, which makes a lot of difference to a youngster's understanding and appreciation.
The Heritage Walk gave us a new identity and made us curious about the lanes and bylanes of our Kolkata.